Konnichiwa. Weiter geht's mit Kapitel 7 von Witch on the Holy Night. Shocked as he was, Kinomi grabbed Shoichiro by the shoulder and pulled him over the wall. Kinomi had nearly burst out laughing when Shoichiro with a straight face admitted his difficulty with girls, but this was the first time Shoichiro had ever turned to him for advice. Shoichiro was always able to break down any task in his part-time jobs into bit-sized pieces, but he was clearly struggling with a different problem now. This was going to take some serious effort.
で、なんかやっちまったのか、よ。
これからやるのかもしれない。木の実、例えばの話、マッドベアにハリセンボンみたいな女の子が入ってきたとする。その子は俺が嫌いで、マッドベアから出て行ってほしいようなんだけど、俺は。
So Shoichiro explained he couldn't just quit his part-time job in the restaurant, he needed the money. Kinomi grunted a few times to indicate he was still following Shoichiro's story.
つまりその女を追い出したいと。
逆だ。なんとか認めてもらいたい。隠していたけど、俺はその女の子が嫌いというわけじゃなくて。
Don't not like her. Shoichiro furrowed his brow. Kinomi could not help but laugh at his friend's lack of manly resolve in his answer. Girls were this one area where Hosuke's skills and experience were triple those of Shoichiro.
なんだよ。要はナンパかよ。むしろ仲良くなりたいってわけ？
Shoichiro wasn't sure how to respond. He noticed slowly without realizing the implication of what Kinomi said.
けど、どうすればいいのかわからない。そもそもどうやって同い年の女の子と仲良く話ができるんだ。
クラスの女どもとは話してんじゃん。あれでいいんだっつの。俺は羨ましいっつの。持ち前の天然系で押してけばいいべ。山育ちってのは希少なアイデンティティだと思うぜ。珍しいものは生かさないとさ。
そうかな。珍しいというのはあんまりいいことじゃない気がする。だいたいそもそも嫌われている場合はどうすればいいんだ。クラスのみんなは親切だけど、相手はハリセンボンだ。いや、この際ハリネズミでもいい。
He feels like horny beast the best of the metaphor.
そういう場合はめげなきゃいいんだよ。相手が折れるのを待つって寸法だな。トゲだけに。
Shoichiro blows like deeper still.
この例え話はダメだ。
He needs some more concrete material to work with.
ばっか。女なんてのは機嫌を取ってればいいんだよ。まずは女の趣味とか大事にしてるもんとか聞いて、そこをフォローすればいい。自分の都合より相手の都合だ。まずは外堀から攻めろってことだな。
外堀？外回りか。
もち。その後はまあ結局はこれが一番効果的なんだけどな。その時の需要と供給さえ合えば嫌われてても受け取ってもらえる。受け取らせちまえばあとはそれが義理になるってもんだ。
Kinomi had then played with odd sense of pride that his approach had resulted in only failure for him.
けど問題がある木の実。確かにご飯とかそういうのをおごってもらうと嬉しい。けど
そんな金はないってんだろ。分かってる分かってる。仕方ないね。そういうしずきくんのために一丁割のいいバイトを紹介してやろうじゃねえのよ。
The slit for the side of the glass would be deep to the corner. Two in front of the lockers where no one ever stayed for long. It would be days before she realized the suggestion he was receiving was of the illegible kind, the kind he should not have shared with anyone. That night, dinner at the mansion was feast of bread. Haben wir jetzt die Kapitelübersicht da? Weil ich würde immer interessieren, wie lang die Kapitel sind. Nein. That night. Dinner the mansion was a feast of bread. Soft slices lay stacked in the center of the table, surrounded by variously colored jams. In a bowl was salad mainly lettuce, with a small plate of unfairly cut ham. Soichiro may have had no frame of reference for what an average family dinner should be, but he could tell that this was the most certainly not normal. In truth, it was a first-rate class case of laziness.
チョコのペースト切れたままじゃん。アリス、新しいの買っておいてって言わなかった？
今日は一日部屋にこもっていたから。第一、チョコレートを食べるのはあなただけよ。自分のものは自分で調達をするべきね。
For those girls, however, the dinner seemed to be completely normal. They had a system of irregularly taking turns, being in charge of meals, and tonight was Alice's turn. Normally she would spend as little time and effort as possible, only truly applying herself when there was something to celebrate. Obviously she was none the wiser to Alice's unique approach to food preparation. For him it was a plain lackluster meal. And then it came to dinner. Not saying anything to each other was another staple of the meals. The sound of culturally the scrapping of chairs and the tick-tock of the clock were the only things to be heard in the sunroom. The German himself had already eaten. At this moment he was watching the goings on from the drawing room.
宗十郎、9時からアルバイトでしょ？行ってらっしゃい。私たちのことは気にしないでいいから。
ああ、じゃあ行ってくる。
Soichiro donned his coat with a goodbye nod. Soichiro glanced again at the sunroom. He momentarily locked eyes with Alice, or so he imagined. She had been ignoring him all day, and not just refusing to talk to him. She had avoided him so much as to not look at him all day until this very moment. He could understand if he was annoying her as an outsider in the mansion, but he felt no animosity in her gaze just now.
今の様子を見てたのかな。
She looked nervously at the surroundings for a moment before heading to the foyer. Alice only let her gaze return to normal when she was completely sure he was gone.
ああ、めんどくさ。
How was this by Alice's brazen display? So much as to immaculate the meaning of apathy crumbled.
何？献立に不満でもあるの？青子。
もちろんあるけど、いつものことだし慣れてるわよ。私が呆れてるのは、あんたの意地の悪さの方。徹底的に無視してるくせに、相手の反応を伺ってるなんてめめしくない？罠張って待ち受けるようなもんじゃない。
彼の反応なんて探ってないわ。そもそも興味がないもの。それと今のは差別発言ね。めめしいという表現は女性軽視に過ぎるわ。今の場合ならあなたは矛盾している と言ってちょうだい。
うわ、自覚ありときた。
Choosing not to raise and Roosevelt jibe, Alice resumed eating. Akko tore off pieces of bread and ate them one by one. Angel still visible on her face.
じゃあここからは青崎青子としてじゃなく共犯者としての質問ね。アリス的に彼を見逃していいと思える判断材料はない？ありえないけど実は彼も魔術師でしたなんてオチであったとしてもここに住まわせるのは容認できない？
その理由なら認めるわ。彼を許すのではなく、そんなことに気づかなかった私たちへのペナルティとして。そうね。今のは絶対にありえない話だけど、それと同じに絶対の結論もまたないわ。彼がここに住む選択を飲む場合すらあるかもしれない。気の迷いは私にだってあるのだし。
Ich mag die beiden einfach.
ええ、そういうことよ。今は私との義理とかプライドで冷静を保ってるあんただけど、あいつの努力次第で少しは。
それは諦めて。彼が何をしようと無駄だから。あなたも知っていると思うけど。
Alice had never been the type to let a guard down around others. That young wish to spice humans, having recreated so many of their objects and fairy tales.
そんなのはあんた個人のトラウマでしょ。自分の意固地さを魔女の血統云々で棚上げするのはそれこそめめしいわ。いいじゃない、嫌いなら嫌いではっきりしてれば。私が気に食わないのはね、あんたのどっちつかずの態度よ、アリス。
どっちつかずの態度？
そう、無視するなら徹底して無視してやれって言ってるの。ガチガチに守りを固めて、そのくせ城門だけ開けて獲物が油断して入ってきたら串刺しにする気満々とか、相棒として見てられないわ。あいつにできることなんて閉ざされた門を開けることぐらいだっていうのに、その機会さえなくすのはどうなの？
ごめんなさい、青子。もう少し簡単に言って。その例えはちょっと。
Das war doch leicht zu verstehen. Alice is unable to grasp Oko's metaphor. Meanwhile, Oko had it up here with her roommate's lack of self-awareness and was starting to lose her cool.
だから興味ないとか言っておきながら粉かけるなってこと。あんなにチラチラ盗み見たらあいつ変に勘違いしちゃうかもしれないでしょ。アリスはああ見えて本当は自分と仲直りしたがっているに違いない。じゃあ早速部屋に押しかけてみようとか。
そういうことになるの？
なる。少なくとも私だったらいい加減イライラして、話があるなら校舎裏まで来いって決着つけかねないレベル。この毒婦。
そうだったのね。気をつけるわ。別に彼と話をする気はないんだし、私も彼を見ていたというより彼の手足を見ていたのだし。
手足ってなんで？
手足は手足よ。彼個人には思うところはないけど、それが少しだけ気になってつい視線で追っていたのね。
あの夜って遊園地のこと？なんかしたっけあいつ。
Alice's expression soured. She still felt the sting of her defeat.
飛んだでしょ彼。レールの上から私のダンプティに向かって。
ええ、そんなこと言ってたわね。勢いでつい1メートルぐらいだから飛んじゃったとか。
Okay, not actually seen it in person, luckily. All she knew was that the spell she had placed on Sushiro was part of the reason he survived the jump of death. Alice, on the other hand, had observed the whole scene from the clock tower. It had only lasted an instant, but it had burned itself into her mind's eye, more than what her precious moon had fallen at the Oko Sands. And Flat's nark had come tumbling down.
でもそれがどうしたの？卵の敵討ちってわけ？
ダンプティは壊れるのが仕事だから敵討ちも何もないわ。ただ人間の体ってあんな風に動くんだなって。
As it goes, for someone with as little human interaction as Alice, to choose leap by step appeared quite remarkable. Particularly because his legs were orders of magnitude less capable than those of animals in the forest. And yet, even with such feeble legs, with those meek arms of his, he managed to fly through the open air like a bird. To her, it was akin to the feeling city folk get when they see a wild creature in its natural habitat.
気にしないで。機会があるならもう一度見たいと思っただけ。別に彼に何を期待しているわけじゃないわ。
なるほど。アリスのプロイって大体が人型じゃないしね。単に物珍しさで見ていただけか。
Arko sighed and released the tension from her shoulders. She was disappointed to discover that Alice's behavior stemmed from simple curiosity, like that of a child with a new toy. And Alice was in no position to take issue with her reaction. And how could she? She was not entirely sure what it was that she herself was feeling.
夕食、明日は私が作るから。試験前だってのに、こんなしょぼくれたもん食べさせられたら、一夜漬けする気合も湧かないわよ。
ご自由に。私も手が空いて助かるわ。
Night came and went in the mansion. For better or worse, the disturbance caused by the foreign invader had yet not caused the kettle to boil over. The next morning at 6:30, a sun had spread out across the sky. Tsuchiro walked to school with Oko in the chilly morning air.
いい？洋館にいるときは極力一人にならないこと。
It was her intention to keep Tsuchiro safe until he left the mansion. Nonetheless,
眠い。6時から登校とか、あんたも働き者ね。
そうでもないよ。30分仕出しを手伝うだけだし。
his work active was a little too strong for a student entering finals.
それより青崎、無理してないか？別にこっちに付き合うことないんだぞ。
ご心配なく。生徒会室で仮眠取るから。約束だし、門までは一緒に行くわよ。
But intentionally, Arko was worried. With traps that the room might have in store for him, she could not imagine Alice had planned anything to go down in the woods, but she wanted to be safer than sorry. The least she could do was accompany Tsuchiro to school. That much she was firmly committed to. Any traps that presented themselves could then be dealt with on the spot. Well, not dealt with so much as destroyed, since that was Oko's fault. But that would be enough to keep him safe for the time being.
帰り道に関してはアリスもそこまで暇ではないと信じるしかないんだけど。
If Alice was willing to put all energy to a new trap after the first had failed, then they were as good as dead anyway. But Oko would cross the road when she came to it. It all depended on how deep Alice's dislike of Tsuchiro really went. It would have been enough to make her abandon her pride as a witch, something she had protected fervently until now. If that were the case, Oko knew she would never be able to keep him safe. The moment 24/7 protection became necessary was the moment she had failed. Her character led her to focus on what she could do in the here and now, and ignore the rest. And this current plan of hers was the best attempt at doing right by everyone. They left behind the Kuronji estate, and the two remained together until the residential area at the bottom of the hill. Boko glanced casually at Soichiro.
ところで何か考えてる？
Surprisingly, Soichiro saw the through a harmless question and sensed the bigger issue. How was he going to win Alice over? In fact, he had been thinking about the very question. According to his friend, there were 3 basic approaches he could take. One was a runabout approach.
こいつは時間がかかるが最も自然だ。人間ってのは自分が好きなものを大切にされるとコロッと気を許しちまう。仲間意識ってやつだな。
In other words, instead of focusing on the person one wishes to win over, one should focus on their interests. It was a surprising major opinion came from Kinomi. Unfortunately, Soichiro had no idea what sort of interest, what sort of thing Alice liked. She seemed very fond of her mansion, but what could he do? Clean it for her? He sensed it would have a reverse effect. He had a distinct feeling she would not want him touching what was precious to her. The second approach was to take the inner track.
でもやっぱり本人を落とすのが一番早い。俺たちに魅力がないのなら魅力のある外付け装備に頼るのだ。そうプレゼントなんだよしずきくん。
Oh man, oh man, oh man. A quick and dirty strategy, the assassin strike. Manipulate someone's feelings with an expensive gift. To Soichiro, this sounded like the best chance. The approach was easy for him to grasp, and he appreciated its simplicity. However, he had the same concerns as with the first approach. A step was missing, and without the step, the plan was bound to fail.
あとはまあ剣ってやつ。俺にはよくわかんねえけどさ、やりすぎると悪い印象を持たれるとか殿下が言ってたな。私今落とされてるって意識させちゃダメなんだとよ。付き合った後であれ私落とされたと気づかせるのが上等なんだとか。
Those who should not quite grasp details so understood the basic idea. Don't press your luck. He knew that much was a good advice. He would have to try extremely hard to get on Alice's good side, and he could tell it would be a long process to get there. Soichiro recalled the time he had wandered inside a fox territory in the mountains. He had left some food on the ground for the fox, and then it never bothered him again. What is considered good, will and kindness varies from person to person. But if there was enough goodwill from one side, regardless of whatever the goodwill is reciprocated, the other side will eventually start to feel an obligation to do so. That was the key.
大丈夫、考えてるよ。とりあえず自分にできることとかしたいことをしようと思う。安心してくれ。青崎に忠告されたことすらきちんと守る方針だ。
Soichiro seemed to face things head on. His answer did little to reassure her, however. She found herself more concerned about his safety than ever before. Ich hatte auch mal so einen Schal.
学校にあるようなほうきが欲しい。
そうなんだ。できれば安く買えるところ。
しずきの家、アパートよね。ほうきなんてもの必要だとは
Servus,
思えない。
Timothy. Wie geht's?
いや、ちょっと気になるところがあって掃除がしたいんだ。ゴミ袋もあると助かる。
無駄な出費はできないって言ってたくせに。まあどうでもいいけど、うちのでよければ使う？貸して。
多分1日じゃ終わらないから自分で買うよ。
Mir geht's auch relativ gut.
元から欲しかったものだし、あると便利だよ、ポキ。
Sochiro was das wäre vom Part-Time-Job auf der School. Will er es wirklich Alice einen Besen schenken? It was 4 in the afternoon, 2 hours earlier than his part job would have normally ended. The mad BS head chief had gotten in trouble with the accountant for making his student work the day before exams. Thus the student boss had tearfully sent him home early. And that is when it happened. The interruption to his standard schedule must have been just the shock he needed. Normally he would meet him for Oko after she was done with the student council affairs to go home with her. However, today Toshiro was asking the other students who worked in the same place if he knew any shops in the area where he could buy a broom.
田舎者の趣味って理解不能ね。推強すぎ。うちの近くにまっついラーメン屋あるでしょ。あそこの通りを終わりまで行けば起きたって金物店がある。一式揃えるなら西口のホームセンターより安く上がるわ。
Okay.
どうでもいいけど、私のチャリ使う？どうせ試験明けまで使わないし。
Toshiro's eyes lit up. He was savior, but biking uphill to the mansion, let alone for a package to carry, was pretty tough.
いや、自転車には乗ってみたいけど、今回は遠慮するよ。
Saying farewell to his co-workers, he headed to the hardware store. He needed a cheap and sturdy bamboo broom and a large dustpan to go with it. It's possible a pushcart and stick for a splint would have been a nice too, as it happened Toshiro wanted quite few things. As returned to her work after waking from a nap, the country estate had an annex that housed a library. The library was filled with books handed down to her from her mother, so it was Alice's territory such that even Oko dared not enter. If the mansion was a witch's abode left behind by the times, the library was a fairy tale quarters lost to ages. It was natural sanctuary for the young witch who could command ploys to her bidding. She relied on the memory to recall the location of each book on the many shelves. And then she saw it. Upon raising her head, she was met with the most unusual sights. Her elegant eyebrows bristled in distaste. From the moment on, she failed to accomplish anything she had planned for that day. She was instead forced to stare at the strange sight outside her window, eyebrows fixated in their position until the sun set. Ah, well. Moving to the grand mansion on the hill had not brought any major change to Toshiro's day-to-day schedule. He woke up, went to his potted shop, ate breakfast, and went to school. Classes came and went, still strangely new, broken up by rare and brief moments of rest until the school day ended. He left school, went to his potted shop, slept, woke up, and studied for exams. A modest life for a modest young man, continuing every day in the same fashion despite his best efforts to change his fortune. But nothing ever really changes. Whether Oko was by his side in the mansion, as was frequently the case, or whether Alice was making him drink some potion she prepared before going to bed. Also da wäre ich vorsichtig. The former was an attempt by Oko to make him feel better. The latter was some attempt to keep him safe, even if he did not fully appreciated. Then one day, a day like any other, while Sushiro was pouring himself some tea as he worried over the lack of change in his life.
ああそういえば
His relationship with Alice was the same as ever, but there was one major change this morning. He was drinking black tea instead of green. True, there was all sorts of different types of tea be found in the kitchen. A newcomer to the world of tea like Sushiro could not tell one of them from the next. Ich muss sagen, ich mag nur roten Tee. Naturally, his tea-making skills were limited to tea bags, one which he placed his cup before returning to his dining table. Dito. Ich trinke nämlich nur Tee, wenn ich krank bin. Sehr krank bin. Oder ich fühle, dass ich krank werde. Sonst trinke ich nur Orangejuice und Apfelscholle. Oder Apfelsaft, je nachdem. Alice and Oko were already seated. The two were eating in silence. In the household it was everyone for themselves when it came to breakfast. The diplomatic description of the breakfast would be simple. The more accurate the description would be 2 slices of stale bread prepared in seconds. Oko exchanged a word or two with Alice, took a sip of tea and stood up from my seat. Since it was winter break for the high schooler, Alice should return to her room after eating as she normally did, while Oko headed to the front door, shoes in hand, ready for school. After hurriedly cleaning the table, the children rushed off the doors after Oko. Together, they walked down the long hill in the direction of school. They had spent 3 days following this very simple routine.
ところで、あれから動きはあった？
Soon it ended and evening had arrived. Buttered bread rolled in one hand, Alice replied with a simple silent shake of her head.
そう。ならあっちも次の手を考えているんでしょうね。魔術師本体の居場所は見当ついてる？
The response was exactly the same. Without showing the slightest sense of dejection, she continued to chew the roll and took a step at her salad.
そう。私も試験が終わったら手伝うから、それまで悪いけど一人でやってて。今日からあのバカを一夜漬けにしなくちゃいけないんで、余裕ないの。
Alice's face grew dour, as if she had something to get off her chest.
問題ないでしょ？アリスはもう休みに入ってるんだから、一日全部使えるじゃない。
Alice was indeed on vacation and could spend all day every day on her work as a mage. Yet she had spent the past 2 days holed up in the library instead. She was hardly devoting herself to dealing with the challenger, as Oko put it.
アリス？聞いてる？
分かってる。今夜からそっちもやるから。
Sighing, she stood up. What was bothering Alice, and what was that she wanted to say? What had she been doing only 2 hours earlier? The young witch took a leave from the breakfast table without offering a single clue. Ich will kurz abspeichern und nachschauen, ob wir jetzt wissen, wie viele Kapitel dieses Kapitel hat. War das sehr komisch. Wie viele Unterkapitel dieses Kapitel hat. Ja, das klingt besser. Ah, endlich. The Bird Afar. Dann 2 Nachtkapitel wahrscheinlich. Ich glaube, ich habe dann das halbe Spiel durch, wenn wir das Kapitel geschafft haben. Misaki High was the private school, and as such its winter break started early in the public schools. The end of term ceremony was in mid-December, followed by a brief respite before the next term began. Of course, that was if and only if they overcame the classic obstacle lying between them an extended break from school final exams. The radio continued its broadcast late into the night. A thermos of hot tea eliminated the need of venture down to the kitchen. An electric blanket kept away the winter cold, and a crab-shaped pastry stripped of any dinner-time hunger. These were the length Orchid gone to. She needed to ensure that every aspect of her surroundings helped her pull a successful all-nighter.
期末試験1日目ご苦労様。それで生まれ変わる覚悟はできた？
So surely not earnestly. Upon returning from work, he encountered not the mage he expected, but the demon student council president, Aoko Aosaki. Half a day earlier, the first day of exams were over and Soshiro was about to head back to the mansion, where he hoped to put his plan into practice when...
今夜、私の部屋で監禁ね。あ、夕方からのアルバイトは当然キャンセル。ちょっと本気であの点数はありえないから。
A cold blue crying greeted him in the hallway. Clenching the fist was Sushiro's exam paper. Mr. Yamashiro had no doubt said.
ま、転校してきたばかりだし、しょうがないよね。
But she had snatched the exam out of the teacher's hands the minute he tried to show her. That was how Sushiro had ended up in Oko's room instead of the room in the attic to which she was accustomed. Though her situation was far from normal, at the end of these days she was an adolescent girl like any other. Naturally she felt uncomfortable letting a boy her own age into her room. However, his grace was truly something that called for desperate measures. That is explained by her mood was even worse than normal today, and the vein on her forehead was pulsing visibly with anger.
先に自分の復習済ませる。あんたはそのテーブル使ってて。
Orko turned her back to him and sat down with her at her favorite desk. Sushiro was left standing before a cheap-looking glass table.
なんかいろいろと慣れないな。なあ、青崎、この青いのなんだ？
Restless, Sushiro found his eyes drawn to the guitar, propped up in the corner. Schaut sogar schön aus, die Gitarre.
なんか薄いし青いしとんがってるし、きっと青崎のことだし、もしかしなくても武器か。
To be fair, auch wärst du zu Waffen zu haben.
楽器よそれ。エレキはともかく、アコギは音楽室で似たようなのあったでしょ。あとこれ以上青々言ったら、その顔になってるので殴るからね。
So she plopped herself down to the cushion, struggling to suppress the desire to thought that it was a weapon after all.
ちょっとは落ち着きなさいよ。いつもは耳の遠い大型犬みたいに鈍感なくせに。何か。
In fact, it was Urko who had obviously oblivious for once. First, Patrick could not figure out why he felt so restless either. Suffice it to say, they were both pretty clueless in this moment.
あ、もしかして内装？この部屋の家具のグレードが今とは違うから不思議がってるのね。ここベッド以外は私の家から持ち込んだものなの。 引っ越してから2年経つけどまだ屋敷には馴染んでないでしょ。
Though she was the real reason for her nervousness, August seems satisfied that she had resolved to choose anarchy for the time being and returned for her studies. She flipped through her nose the textbooks, fast-forwarding a tape. There was no opening for an outsider like him to intrude her high-speed study session. Repelled by intensity, he retreated to his table. He was at least sensitive enough to pick up on the desire to be left alone. It was a testament to Shiro that having his niece utterly ignored was now second nature to him, to the extent that he could now happily go about his business in solitude. Two hours had passed. Then, as the clock neared 11, Ako's speed and concentration began to slip. Seeing his window of opportunity, Shiro seized the moment to strike up a conversation.
青崎、ちょっといいかな。
何？
He spoke hastily, not buffering to return to face him. She continued to flip the pages of her textbook, albeit at a slower speed than before.
この3日間、青崎たちの夕食事情を見てきたけど、君たちの食事はいつもああなのか？
そうだけどおかしい？
そう言われると困るな。ただ学校じゃみんな楽しそうだった。誰かと食事をとるってことはああいう風になることだって思ってた。だからもしかすると。
もしかしないわよ。別にあんたのせいでアリスと話さないわけじゃないわ。私たちはいつもああだから。
Akko spoke calmly with her back still turned, seemingly unaware of what she was getting at.
張り詰めた食卓だな。青崎とアリスは仲がいいと思ってたのに。
She neither confirmed nor denied his statement. She was, however, surprised by the disappointment tone in which she had made it.
張り詰めた食卓っていうのは合ってるわね。アリスが何回あんたの飲み物にメスカリンを入れてたかなんてもう覚えてないし、昨日なんか堂々とサラダの中に7かまどなんか混ざってるし。
Okay, was ist Mescalin? Google. Mescalin. Is a national coding psychedelic psychedelic of the substitutes, known as the hallucinogenic effects compared to those of LSD and net. Mescalin ist seit den 1970ern in den United States illegal. Nur für manche religiöse Gruppen ist es legal in Amerika. In Germany ist es auch illegal, also Deutschland. In Russland auch. Nett. Und das andere war Rowan. Rowans, or mountain ashes, are shrubs of trees in the genus Sorbus. They are native throughout the cool temperate reach of the northern hemisphere. auch eine Frucht. Roman is an excellent small element for tree parks, gardens, wildlife areas. Several of Asian species, such as white-fruited rowan, are popular with the unusual fruit color, and second rowan for the especially large cluster of fruit. In der Mythologie waren die roten Bären der Rowan heilig zu Ravna in der Sami-Mythologie. And the name Ravna resembles North Germanic words for tree. For example, Old Norse Reynir. In Norse mythology, the goddess Sif is the wife of the thunder god Thor, who had been linked with Ravna. According to Skadisk Parmal, the Rowan is called the salvation of Thor because Thor once saved himself by clinging to it. It has been hypothesized that Sif was once conceived from the form of a Rowan to which Thor clung. In the Fianna cycle of Irish mythology, the pursuit of Diarmuid and Grain sees a couple of eloping try to escape the vengeance of the legendary leader Fio McCamel, whom Grain had spawned. The pair became in the forest guarded by the giant zebra. The zebra allowed the pair to rest and hunt in this forest as long as they did not eat the berries of the special rowan tree. The pregnant Grain desired the berries, and Diarmuid was compelled to kill Zebra to obtain them. His mortal weapons being powerless against Zebra, he used Giant's own. Klingt irgendwie ähnlich wie Adam und Eva. Also, ja, was heißt ähnlich? Halt das mit der verbotenen Frucht. Kannst du sehen, warum Alice solche Bären benutzt?
ほんとあの子何考えてるんだろう。
A bitter smile spread across the face. In reminiscence, the page of the textbook continued to turn.
メスカリン？
サボテンから取れるアルカロイドよ。アリスが使う以上ただの幻覚剤じゃないでしょうけどね。と私はこんなもんでいっか。
With that, she slammed the shut of the fourth textbook of the night. After having seen Skelly change position the whole night, she finally turned in her chair to face him.
さあ今度はあんたを仕込まなくちゃね。今日の4科目の答案実に総十郎らしい出来栄えでそっとしそうになったわ私。
Her tone was light, but her gaze was heavy as she started at Sushiro, seated cross-legged on the floor.
原告、地理、数学、電子工学。あの調子であと2日続けたら冬休みが消えるのは当然でしょうね。そうなると困るのは私なのよ実際。
いや俺も困るぞ。休みなのに学校に行くのはなんか気が乗らない。
Sushiro came and corrected her.
そりゃあ私のセリフだ。あんたが学校に行くってことは必然こっちまでとばっちりが来るっての。
She could not think about it, as much as she tried to not. It was Mr. Yamashiro and his annoying grin.
それ以前に私の目が黒いうちはオール赤なんてやつは許さない。本来なら少年から叩き直すところだけど、ま、あんたはいろいろ事情があるからとりあえず点数だけで勘弁してあげる。私もテストは一夜漬けで片付ける方だからあんた一人仕込むのにそう時間はかからないだろうし。
Sushiro expressed sound in response to her declaration. It was obvious he did not think he needed for meddling in his studies.
あんたね、苦労するのは私とあなた、どっちだと思うの？
So she got the feeling that it would be him, but he nodded slowly nonetheless. Then again, it would be probably take more effort on her part than on his. In any case, he knew there was no way to talk her out of it.
この度はご迷惑をおかけします。
Soichiro suddenly bowed his head to show gratitude and willingness to work.
よろしい。安心なさい。私だって鬼じゃないから。
Ja, du bist schlimmer, du bist der Teufel im Werk selbst.
別に平均点狙うってわけでもなし。予定通りこなしていけば3時には眠れるわよ。
Shinobi's satisfaction, please best nudist attitude. He had plenty of obstacles ahead of him, but that sense of humility might be enough to see him through.
って何仏心出してるんだ私。いい？しずきくん。この後頼られちゃたまんないから釘刺しておくけど、私がマンツーマンで誰かを仕込むなんてこと、これはあくまで異例中の異例だって覚えておいてね。
She spoke more to convince herself than him, but his expression still darkened. It meant only want to hang a side around his neck that read, "Please take me home," like an updone pet. How could chide herself for being so soft? Ich mag ihr Gesichtsausdrücke. For some reason in that moment she recalled that it had been raining the day they met each other. Time passed like the falling grains of a hourglass.
結局
August squinted as light poured through the window, and she downed another cup of tea. She had lost count of exactly how many she had drank long ago.
一晩かかったね、大崎。
So Shiro picked up on what she left unspoken. Orchid used up all her pep. In staying up all night, but also in shouting at him. He looked pale and uncomfortable, just as he had all night long.
ええ、甘く見てたわ、あんたのことを。
Ich will ihr ganzes Gesicht sehen.
だから褒めても何も出ないって。
ある意味褒めるに値するかもね。
She was at the end of her rope, but she could not help the bit of pride that swelled up in her. His lack of even the most basic comprehension was shocking, even talking into account his upbringing in the wilderness. His ability was the of a middle school student, and that was being generous. Preparing him for exams by teaching him new concepts a year was a waste of time. Raw memorization was his only hope for passing. Everything he memorized could collapse like a house of cards afterwards, for all she cared, so long as he remembered his first exams. Assuming he had capacity to be a good student in the first place had been her mistake. It took all night to cover the content for just 4 exams, and she still did not feel confident he could apply what he so honestly tried to memorize.
でもね、真面目なのはいいことだけど、あんた暗記するのに時間かかりすぎ。
そこは多めに見てほしい。今まで頭より体で覚えることのが多かったんだ。
Uncle had us expression side. Naturally, physical prowess mattered more in mountain life than the intellectual kind, but still.
まあいいわ。これで山城からあんたの成績について相談されることもないでしょうし。紅茶もう一杯入れてくれる？
Who stood up and obeyed as Urko stretched her Asian back. She had apparently bought the tea bags in bulk, so there was still plenty to use.
まったく無駄遣いだな、青崎は。
He spoke under his breath so she wouldn't hear her. Made her somehow happy to see her so tired and unfocused after the grueling all-night lesson she had given him. It did not cross his mind that excessive tea bags, far from being an indulgent purchase, were purchased intentionally to sustain them through the night. The next expression came across Uko's face as she watched him naive and peacefully as she could.
悪くないけど、せめてリーフティーで入れられるように仕込まなくちゃダメかな。
Seems to have overheard her not so inner monologue, so she remained to face her.
やっぱり味は違うのか？
違う違う、もう全然。正直私はどうでもいいんだけど、アリスはね、かなりお茶にはうるさいよ。そうだ、宗十郎、アリスとうまくいってる
Uko shiftily slumped over the table, new covered with textbooks and scribbled notes. So Shiro watched her with a hint of resentment in his eyes.
彼女と会えるのは食事の時だけで、食事と言ったらあれだろ？どうやって仲良くなれって言うんだ。
そう？私は十分脈ありだと思ったけど、そっちはアリスを怖がってないし、アリスはそっちを追い出す理由を見つけようと躍起になってるし、いい条件よ、これって。
全然わからないな。あの子とこっちの関係は遊園地前の青崎と俺の関係と同じじゃないか。一体どこがいい条件なんだ？
とりあえず反目し合ってはいないでしょ。一方通行の関係だけど、それはそれ。アリスにしちゃ上出来っていうか、理由を探している時点で可能性ありってね。あの子は反感に応えることが癖になっちゃってるから、大抵相手を自滅させちゃうのよ。
Her ominous words only confused Shiro further.
知ってしまえば単純な話なんだけどね、あの子の場。ただ
Whether or not he could put it into practice was another story altogether.
難しいよ、青崎は。
He carried the teacups back to the table as he spoke. Uko picked hers up and took up a sip as to the spell of extortion.
でも確かに君の言う通りだ。俺はまだあの子の顔しか知らない。クオンジ・アリスという名前すら定かじゃないのは問題があるね。
He followed Uko's lead and took a sip of his own. His cup contained not tea but plain hot water.
あの子のこと教えてほしい？
Uko scrutinized him carefully as she said, most people would have been captivated by her gaze in the moment.
いや、そういうことは本人に聞いてあげるべきだと思う。
But he ignored her and stared straight ahead, as if speaking directly to Alice herself.
そうね。ほんと、あんたってアリス好みの対応をするわ。ねえ、前から気になってたけど、客室でアリスに何を言ったの？いくら私との約束とはいえ、あの子が部外者を半日も放置するなんてありえないの？
He thought back to the moment. He could recall only 2 or 3 words he had exchanged with Alice after awaking in the guest room. He did not recall the conversation being anything special, but he could not bring himself to casually share it with Uko now. After all,
ねえ、どんなセリフであの子の気を変えたの？
Uko eagerly pressed him for answers. Shiro frowned unsure of what to say. He did not know what the interaction had been like for Alice, but for him, it had felt special, sacred almost. The question was, why and for whom was he so concerned?
ほら、白状しなさいってば。隠し事なんて似合わないわよ。
Her disconcerting smile moved even closer. Toshiro did not look like he was able to stay silent much longer. As it eventually came to this, Okazaki had sometimes troubling propensity to gossip.
まあ、あの子と何を話したかは言わないけど、今の青崎に比べれば花もロマンもなかったのだけは確かかな。さっきまでは青崎が鬼みたいだったからいいもんだなって気がつかなかった。
He stared directly into her eyes as he spoke. Oko nearly leaped out of her seat in panic. Now that he pointed out, she realized the bodies were practically touching.
仕方ないでしょ。この方が効率良かったんだから。 あんた横にいないとすぐ間違えるし。
Okay, stop alles schlecht back. FM.
そうだね。なんか昔みたいで久しぶりに集中できた。
Mehr schaffe ich heute aber leider nicht. Langsam kriege ich Hunger. Habe doch gar nichts gegessen. Dann mal adios und fertig.